Welcome everyone. Welcome to another review. This is MetalCanyon and we'll be checking out Planet Zoo by Frontier Developments. Yeah, the people that brought you Elite Dangerous, Planet Coaster, Jurassic World, or is it Planet Jurassic World, and Planet Zoo now. So I'm actually quite happy about all these management games in the Planet series because, well, I loved the old Roller Coaster Tycoon and I really enjoyed my time in Planet Coaster as well. So now, instead of creating an enclosure for dinosaurs or creating an amusement park, we'll be creating a zoo. Now, before we begin, I do have to warn you that this is the pre-released version, even though it does say build 1.0. But this is the pre-release version, and it will be somewhat updated for launch day, and you'll be watching this when the game is available. So some of the stuff, if it does appear slightly unpolished or some such, they have told me that that will be taken care of. So just so you're aware. Also, another thing, I will only be showing you this second mission here because, one, I don't want to spoil the missions for you because they are fairly fun. But also, well, to show you a bit of more of a beautiful zoo, and also some of the voice acting. Here, let me shut up for a moment.
Lovely stuff. Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you. I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo. You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them. Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
Alright, so welcome to Planet Zoo. Alrighty. So with Planet Coaster, we started with building amusement parks, which I absolutely adore, both going there and creating them. With Jurassic World, we were creating, well, sort of sci-fi parks, enclosures for dinosaurs, and now we're doing something of a mix, really. With Planet Coaster, that was just building rides and such, and making sure that the guests enjoyed themselves. With the Jurassic World, there was very little building of custom buildings and such. In fact, I think there was none of that. You just built some pre-made buildings and built enclosures, and this is sort of a mix of the two, really. You can fully customize your stuff, your buildings. You can put in many different details, but you also have animals to take care of and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting mix. I guess it's like the strength of both of the previous games, if you like. And if you enjoy the idea of having animals in your park, well, this is right up your alley. Anyway, let's look at the visual aspects of the game first. I do have to say that a lot of the time this game looks very beautiful. Look at these baobab trees. They're giant. You don't actually know how giant they are until you compare them to people at first. So the people have the same sort of graphical style as in Planet Coaster, and I believe it was in or were they a little more realistic in Jurassic World? I honestly don't remember. Anyway, they are pretty much like in Planet Coaster. They also walk in groups. They walk by themselves. They have children with them. So, yeah, that's pretty much known. If you've played Planet Coaster, this will be nothing new to you. The second thing is, well, for the visuals, the nature and such. It does look very beautiful, especially when you pan down like this and away a little bit. You can see all the background, and when the sun rises or sets, it also creates a very beautiful environment. This is all on maximum graphics, by the way. And let's also look at the animals. This is probably one of the most important things, even though despite that, you will usually play your games somewhere along this zoom level because you'll be doing management. So looking up close at animals won't really be your thing a lot of the time. Although it is fun to actually watch them. So here we have some red ruffed lemurs. Look at these little guys. Now you can zoom in really close. Oops. In fact, you can also use a camera. There we go. You can use this camera to get rid of the UI and just enjoy the lemur as he sits slightly tilted on this little block of wood. But look at all the fur and such. I do like that. I do enjoy that a lot. I think the animals are very well modeled and textured. Let's look at some other animals. They're also very nicely animated. I mean, as you would expect from a Frontier Developments game, it is very polished. I don't think there's anything here yet. Oh, there is. What is here? Oh, orangutans. Where are they? I don't think they're here yet. Do I have any orangutans? Yes, I do. Where the heck are they hiding? Oh, they're all boxed up. Why are they all boxed up? No idea. Something must have happened. Sometimes when something happens with an enclosure, it'll box all the animals up. It's very rare, but it can be a little bit annoying when that happens. So there we go. We got a baby orangutan. Look at that. Where you going, little guy? That's pretty cool. Yeah, the animations, the models, and everything else. There's actually 3 babies here. And where's the big orangutan? He ran that way somewhere. Where is he? There he is. I think he's gonna play with a ball. Let's look at the camera here. He's punching that ball. Hey man, don't look at me like that. Yeah, so the animals will have a variety of animations and things they do. So a bit like in Jurassic Park, I think they expanded upon that. Because in Jurassic Park, the animals ate, drank, and fought with each other or others. And over here, they do all that, depending on what the composition of the groups are. For example, if you have too many males in a group, they will start fighting each other and so on. But also, in this one, they play with the little toys that you give them. They eat from the different food things you provide them. So for example, because you have to provide some stress relief for them or fun, you don't just want to provide food on a tray. You want to maybe freeze it in a box, not a box, so freeze it in a cube, so they have to play with it around a little bit, and so on and so forth. So make them enjoy their time a little bit. So that's the visual aspect. I really do enjoy that. Now, I would like to mention something with the visual aspect. What you're watching here is a pre-made zoo. This is basically one of the tutorials. This is the second tutorial. I think there's like 6. And obviously, Frontier Development, you know, they spend some time creating this, and it does look beautiful to me anyway. All the enclosures are cool. There's something like you would see in a proper zoo, you know, this walkway up above the enclosure. They've got lots of stuff around here to play with. Trees, water, some other stuff. Here's the food, by the way. Not really sure what they're eating. This looks like some sort of seeds. Are you gonna eat? I'm assuming you're gonna eat? No. Not hungry. That's actually quite a nice touch. Did you see that? One of his arms is on the thing that's lifted on this platform, and the other one was not. That's pretty cool. Oh, he's gonna sit down and eat. Yummy. So if you click him, you've got all the different stats. Oh yeah, let me go back to what I was talking about before, so I don't just go all over the place, even though I usually do. The visual aspect. This is a pre-made zoo. So just like in Planet Coaster, if you're not willing to spend a lot of time making everything nice and how it should be and detail it and so on and so forth, your zoo is not gonna look this pretty. It's going to look okay, but it's not definitely going to look this pretty because you've got a lot of stuff going on here. Various terrain modifications, waterfalls. I'm not really sure how you can add waterfalls, if that's even possible. You've got little lakes here and there. You've various heights. You've got enclosures of various types here, which you will do as well, but all the walkways are different. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. But of course, if you're a little bit lazy, well, a lot lazy, I'll be honest, and more pragmatic like me, then you just want to create stuff like this, maybe. Just an enclosure, a path around it where people can watch your stuff. This is an empty enclosure, by the way. And then you simply add what's strictly necessary for that animal. So, for example, if I was to want to add something to this enclosure, we already have a door and a barrier. Now, every animal will have a different requirement. So, the way you get animals is you go to animal trading and you select what you want. So, for example, I don't know, we already have hippopotami. Let's have... We don't have ring-tailed lemurs yet? Wait a second, what do we have here? No, we've got chimpanzees? Yeah, chimpanzees. So let's see what we actually have. This is one of the slightly annoying things with UI, even though everything is very polished. If you're playing a pre-made zoo like this, it's very difficult to know exactly what you already have and what you don't when you're getting things. This is especially annoying when, for example, it says that you are required to have at least 12 different species in the zoo. So, for example, if I was to say, oh yeah, I'll take some chimpanzees, and of course they're already here, but, I missed that fact, it wouldn't help me. But, of course, if you're building your own zoo, you know the in and out of everything, where the paths lead, what kind of animals you've already gotten, and so on and so forth. So that's slightly annoying. You have to go to zoo and animals, and then there's no really good way of, of knowing what's there and what's not. Wait a second, why are these guys still boxed? Not really sure. Let's unbox all of that. It'll tell you that the animals are boxed for a long time if they appear. So yeah, what I would have liked to see is if you go to animal trading, that it would tell you, oh, click, check, you already have this animal and how many of it you have. I hope that's something they'll add to the UI with a patch. I think it would be fairly easy to do, and it would make things so much easier when building in these pre-made ones. So I cannot actually... Wait a second. Yes, I can afford. Because it's only money. Well, we'll get to that soon. So let's get these guys. So what you want to do when getting a new animal, you'll have to learn a little bit about it. This is an auction of sorts, by the way. So you have a limited amount of time to get these. Let me actually pause the game. So let's go to the Zoopedia and see what these guys want. Baird's Tapper. So they are endangered. That's pretty cool. A lot of the game will give you a lot of real life information about them and how endangered they are and so on and so forth. So if you want to learn more about the animals, real facts, then you'll have them here. It's pretty cool. So here's the natural habitat. It's all Central America-ish. And this is what we are really interested in for the gameplay. Not really this so much because this comes into play later, but the habitat requirements. So we'll need something along the lines of 430 square meters at least, and 37 square meters of water, and also 16 to 40 degrees Celsius. Also, the barrier has to be a grade 2 and at least 3.3 meters tall. I don't know why some of these still say feet. So, a lot of them say meters. Let's see. Still say feet. That's weird, actually. Because it was meters. There we go, 3 meters. See, I think that's just a bug. They'll probably get rid of that. So I'm assuming that's not 3.3 meters because these guys don't look like they could jump a lot. But, some of them have different ones. Some of them have grade 4 and to make climbing impossible and so on. For example, for the monkeys, climb proof, you need that because otherwise they'll just climb out. And that's also something we'll get to. So anyway, 430 meters. Let's check that. Is this... It's 1780 meters, so that's way bigger than what these guys need. So we can go ahead. Well, you can go ahead and buy these ones anyway. Oh yeah, also something we want to know is we'll want some water there as well. Free water. We need 1 male and 1 female. Oh, okay. Huh. This will be a very, very small one. So maybe this is a good way to for me to show you how making barriers work. So I've decided, because these guys need so little space and there's only 2 really in a pack, otherwise they'll start fighting, I'll cut this off and have this little section just for them. So there's a lot of barriers you have. Some of the missions will not allow you to buy some of the barriers or won't have them available, but everyone, each of these barriers has certain statistics, like the resistance grade, which you're required to have, whether they're opaque or semi-transparent or transparent in the case of glass, which of course means that people can actually watch the animals. You also have one-way glass, which is pretty interesting. Now, this will mean that the animals from the inside will not see outside, which will, especially for like snow leopards and such, which are shy creatures, they'll think they're alone and won't get stressed. So that's a pretty cool touch. So let's just keep with the theme here and add some of these logs. I want... Oh, yeah, this will not be a barrier. No, it will be a barrier. Habitat perimeter. So let me add this. Now this is 2 meters. Well, that's okay. And let me add this. And then we can just make this one taller to make it look proper. There's a lot of options you can do with these. So for example, just like in Planet Coaster, you have all the angle snapping, height snapping, different ways it'll make the barrier snap to adjacent heights. Whether there's a window or not, you can also select an existing one and create a window if you want it, or a one-way glass. Of course, that costs. You've got height labels, the camera, follow center, and so on, and also whether they're climb-proof. So, for example, if I wanted this to be climb-proof on this side, because I don't know what I'll have, I'll do left. There we go. So now, oh, that one's the other way. And curved barrier top, if I think that like curves the top a little bit. It's just visual, I think. Anyway, so this is now its own habitat, but we still need an access gate. Let's place a wooden access gate. Let's place it here. Now this will create this into a proper habitat, because it means that the caretakers can go in and take care of the animals. And also, because this area is sloped down here, we'll have no problem adding water. Although this might be a problem with the doors. Let's see. So this is now 708 square meters, and we need just a smidge of water. I'll try to add it in a very... Oh yeah. Will be a bit of a problem because it'll flood the doors. I don't think this will work. Yeah. Do I have terrain shaping available here? I do actually, and I've never used this before, which is kind of weird, but yeah. So let's try to make... Ooh, a bit much. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna make a little pool here. There. And then I'm gonna add water. Why can I not add water here? There. Is that better? There we go. Yeah, so now, this also has 68 square meters of water, which is perfect. All right, now we'll need several things for these guys. Did I buy them yet? No, I didn't. So let's get one male and one female. Now all of these are is being adopted for cash. It cannot be released to the wild. Okay. It's also interesting that you get the source of the animal, which is just a cosmetic thing pretty much, or well, just fluff, but it tells you where it comes from. This one was a pet. This one was a custom seizure, so someone tried to smuggle it. This one was from a private zoo, breeding program, custom seizure rescue. So it's pretty interesting. The game does give you a lot of this, you know, eco stuff. There's also, we'll get to that later, but the conservation rating of your zoo is important as well, and quite a few aspects. So let's get one male here. This guy doesn't have very good immunity, but let's adopt him. And we also want a female. We only have one available, so that's what we'll take. Now that we've bought them pretty much, we'll go to animal storage and take both of them. and move them, if I can find where it is, to the quarantine. There is the quarantine. Now, you don't have to do this, but it's a good idea because it'll observe the animals for a little while, make sure they're not diseased, so they don't spread the disease to other animals. So in the meantime, what we can do... Barrett's Tapper. Alright, we'll go to Habitat. And go to Barrett's Tapper. There. Or Tapir Tapper? I'm not sure. So, we need to provide... What's going on there? It's been in box for too long. Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there. Why these are getting boxed? Something happened in this scenario. I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, let's prepare the habitat. We already have water. We have plenty of space. And we'll add some food and water first. We'll add a medium trough of food. And I like to place these where people can see them. So they'll come over here to eat. We'll also add a water pipe, which is an automatic. Actually, we don't have to because they've got water here. So I think this is accessible, and I think they'll just drink the water from there. You do have to have a water treatment facility to keep this water clean, though. Now, we also want some shelter for them. This is a slightly annoying thing. You don't know if these are sufficient. The game doesn't really tell you whether this will be sufficient or not. Let's make it like this so they're hidden away. It's also floating a little bit. I should do something with that. Let's add some bedding. Like there. Oops. Nope. Didn't mean to do it there. Also, I love the music and such. Ooh, what's going on? There. And maybe add another one here, just in case they have a baby or something. Because they probably will. So now they have shelter. We need to add some enrichment stuff. Now, you do have to research things. And over here, we have a lot of stuff researched already. This will keep the animals busy, happy, having fun. Let's add some balls, a rubbing pillar somewhere close so people can enjoy them. All this is red. Yeah, this is a slightly annoying thing that I found with the game. It really doesn't like sloped areas. There we go, quarantine passed. So, now that the quarantine has passed, let's go to the animals. Find our quarantine, which is complete. They were not diseased. And let's move them to this enclosure. Now, they'll bring them over in boxes. Animal has escaped. Oh, jeez, is it a... Oh, no, it's a little guy. Yeah, not really sure how he got away. He must have jumped out. What is it? Oh, not really sure where it went now. How do you escape, little guy? Red ruffed lemur. Is it these guys? Yeah. So, what they probably did is... Because this is quite complex, they must have run up here and possibly jumped over, or I'm not really sure how they got out. Well, this is a pretty good barrier here. They cannot... I think they can climb this. Can they climb this? They might be able to climb this and then get on top and get out. But anyway, we'll leave it as is for now. We won't worry about that. If something like a snow leopard escaped, that would be a bit more of a problem. Has avoided capture for a long time. Yeah, fine, get emergency capture animal. You have to pay a little bit of money, otherwise you just send a person there. So, they haven't brought the animals over yet. Now, you have to remember, because I haven't played this for a while, this specific scenario, I don't know what kind of staff I have. I mean, I just went through the tutorial and then went on to build my own zoo. And there it is. There's Yowtil. Now, what we need to do now is actually look at how he's feeling. So he's got enough of a hard shelter, so this is fine. The terrain is perfect. He's got enough water area. He's got enough living area. He wants a little more short grass. So let's give him some more short grass. Like so. Alright. Now what else? Environment. This is very bad. So we need some plants in there. Now what we'll do is go to nature and go to South and Central America. And also go to these biomes. So tropical and temperate and grassland. And by filtering this, we are putting down correct... let's also get rid of this, align to surface, so it doesn't look so weird. We also get the correct plants. So by covering the area with plants, we'll increase all these things, and the animals will feel better. Whoa, that was quite a lot, actually. Otherwise, their welfare goes down, and they don't feel well, and so on. And because these guys don't seem to climb, I can just put trees close to here. Otherwise, if you have monkeys, and doing this is a very bad idea next to the barriers, because they'll just climb up the trees and jump over. And that will happen. Now, that's another thing I wanted to talk. These climbing mechanics. This game did... Whoa. That is huge. It's a little too huge for my taste for this little enclosure. Look at these vines. That's cool. Yeah, you can play a lot with this. Just like in Planet Coaster and all of the others, you can play around a lot. And really spruce up your zoo to make it look very pretty. But like I said, you'll need... Oh, that's a mangrove. Let's put it here. You'll need a lot of patience and a lot of time to really make it look pretty. So this is usually the best I can do with my zoos, because I just don't have the patience to do more. Well, let's go back to the habitat. There's some more stuff. We can put down a large barrel feeder, which will roll around, and it has food in there. A herb scent thingy. Fruit spike tree. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, they'll have to eat fruit from the spikes. Or it's let's give them a cardboard box to push around and tear up. And this is pretty big, so I'm not really sure where I could put that. All right. So they'll bring the other one, the female, I think. Oh, he's already going back. Hey! Oh, you've got the mate now. Where is it? Come on. Come on. Yeah, there she is. There she is. You know, and they'll play around with all this stuff. I've never seen them use the rubbing thing. I want to see how that works. But see, the welfare is now very high because we've satisfied all the other stuff. But when you're building your own zoo and you start from pretty much scratch, which I did, there's a lot of stuff you have to do. I think he's going to... Yeah, they also have all of their proper sounds and such. It really does feel like a zoo a lot of the times when you have a lot of animals and you zoom in. It really is very cool and a lot of fun to watch them. Hey. Hey, Yowtel. How you doing? Look at that. Obviously, if you've got a proper mix of animals and they're not diseased and such, well, actually, even if they're diseased, they'll also mate and you'll have little ones. And believe me, it's not a good idea. Or it is, but it is a lot of work if you want to keep males and females in a lot of the enclosures, because they will go out of control and you'll have a lot of work on your hands getting rid of the extra animals, you know, releasing them into the wild, stopping fights and so on and so forth. You can give them contraceptives though. I think that's, it's just a toggle, so if you don't want them to reproduce anymore, you can do that, and they won't, or won't be able to, I'm assuming. I've never tried it yet. Is he? Hey, man. Not really sure why I'm calling them man, but here they're foraging for food in this little thing. Here's a caretaker who's bringing over food. One of the staff. The staff seem to be mostly, if not completely, ignored by the animals. So you don't have to be afraid of sending these guys into, I don't know, a snow leopard's enclosure and such. It's not... Oh, yeah, he's going to clear out the place if there's any poop around. And there's going to be a lot of poop in your zoo, let me tell you that. Here's some. And it's all animated, by the way. So if you go to the hippopotamus, which we also have... where is it? I think it's here. No. Where's the hippopotami? Let's see. We've got Aswad and Enyonyam. Oh, here they are. Oh, wow, they got a really big enclosure here. He's sleeping. Oh, look at him. Or her, actually. Hey. Look at how nicely they look. I mean, even when they're down and sleeping, you can see them. Oh, jeez, on their way to something. Pooping, maybe? Oh no, she's gonna drink. Go on, take a drink. Well, and then she's already drinking. Okay. He's playing with that. Yeah, you won't have to worry about your staff that way because they will never get attacked, it seems. So it's not like in real life where you would have to put the really dangerous animals away into different enclosures and cages before you could do anything. Yeah, they do clip through each other sometimes, but I think that's just a polish thing. I think they're going to take care of that. You know what I'm waiting for here. Avert your eyes, children. But yeah, that is included in the game. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's how you make a habitat. But that's what I'd like to mention, that if you don't spend a lot of time, look at all the people already watching these guys, you will not have a very nice looking zoo, or at least it'll look more practical than beautiful, or both. So there's something we forgot to add, and that is learning. Oh, I don't have that stuff available here. That's a bit odd. Usually, in other scenarios, you also have these large LCDs available, which you put down, and they will allow you to basically educate people. Let's put that. Why can I not put it there? Yeah, that's quite annoying. It'll educate people on the animals. You have to select what kind of animal it's talking about, though. What are you doing? Let me find one. There was one here. There were some screens here, weren't there? There's one, for example. So you select that, and you can actually select what kind of a thing you want them to learn about. Now, obviously, because this is a bonobo enclosure here, you want them to learn about that. But it's pretty cool, and there's also a new view here. We want to go to education. There you go. There is a speaker here, which you can increase or decrease the volume of. And also select what kind of content it should be playing back. Now, this means that everyone in this radius will be learning about the bonobo, which is pretty cool. And also important for your zoo. But you shouldn't mix these, even the same ones, because if the speakers talk over each other, the people will not understand what it's trying to say. So if I go to this one and increase the volume, there we go. You see this red area? That means that people are hearing several things at once and are not really sure what's going on. So you've got all the other overlays, like the negative effects on guests, because they don't like seeing staff facilities. You've got the buildings, whether they have power, because you need to put down transformers to add power to things. Obviously, we don't need power in these enclosures. Then we've got water treatment facilities to make sure that the water keeps clean. And then there's the temperature. That's quite an interesting one, because you can see that the temperature drops here with the sprinkler. But some of the animals require different temperatures which are not available in your area. So you need to put down heaters and coolers and set the temperatures that they require. There's also habitats. So, for example, this is pretty interesting. If I were... Let's go to those lemurs that escaped. Where was that? That was here, wasn't it? So I can click on this lemur. There. And it'll show you the blue area where they can move, the green areas where they can actually climb. So if we look at these trees, for example, you see those little green lines? Look, they can climb all the way to the top and possibly jump out here somewhere. Not really sure how they made it out. No, wait, it wasn't these ones. It was some other ones. No, these are... What am I talking about? These aren't lemurs. These aren't lemurs as well. I mean, either... I don't know, that's pretty funny. There they are. There. So they cannot get up there. They can go all the way up here. Yeah. I'm not sure how that happened. That must have been a fluke. Oh, they could climb up here, see? but they cannot seem to jump out. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. And there's the animal welfare. These guys are not too happy for some reason. Their habitat doesn't have any plants and terrain is not good. So we could improve that if we wanted. But here's the really interesting thing. All of these things, all of these climbing things are actually individual pieces. So what you can do is you can... Is it climbable? See? I can put this down and then just build my own thing if I wanted, allowing these guys to procedurally pretty much climb and have fun on these things. Ah, yeah, it's closing them now because I'm doing things. Let's see, if we go into that other view now, habitat, and click on these guys, there we go. They can climb up here, they can climb over here, and up to this point. So it's pretty cool. It both gives you something to do and have fun to see how they climb your stuff that you've created, but it also creates an interesting challenge because you cannot give them an option to escape. Otherwise, you'll have problems. I think that's pretty fantastic. I mean, you know, it's not just, oh, here's a few pieces and you can place them down and they will have animations climbing on them. No, you can put pieces up however you like, and if they're capable of climbing it, they will climb. Now, I think the climbing animations and such will also be polished a little bit, so don't worry about that. It looks a little bit wonky now, maybe. But that's really cool. I do enjoy that fact. So anyway, when I started playing this game and the first 3 tutorials put you into these beautiful zoos, I wasn't too sure about it. I mean, I really like the voice acting. I really like Nancy, who's teaching you about the running a zoo, but I wasn't too sure. You know, there was so much stuff to do, and obviously I wasn't very knowledgeable about the mechanics and such. I wasn't really sure whether I was having fun or not, and I was almost going to say, yeah, not sure, I prefer this one. But now that I've gotten to the mission where you actually have to build your zoo from the ground up and you learn about the mechanics more and more, it really is a lot of fun. I mean, you have to build your own zoo to learn about the stuff properly and to really, you know, build what you want and have a lot of fun doing it. I think at that point it's a lot of fun. There's also facilities which I haven't talked about, apart from the speakers and such. There's small animal exhibits, which are basically terrariums that you put down. Let's see, where's a few terrariums? There's a few terrariums. So you've got terrariums here, in which small animals are kept. Now, they also require various things like temperature and humidity. This is the Gila monster. And you've got enrichment. So if I was to remove this, there we go, you can remove this stuff. Oh, bye. It's probably placed it somewhere else. Sorry about that. But yeah, adding these things adds to the layout percentage here and how the how the animal feels. And of course, you have to research it. You have to go into vet research to research stuff for animals, like stuff to play with around. So if I were to get this guy to research this, I only have 1 vet, really? You know, he will unlock more stuff for the animals we just added. These guys, where are they? There. And they're already pooping all over the place. Brilliant. Nice work. But yeah, they will allow them to... Actually, we have so much stuff already, but they'll research them anyway. And allow us to build more stuff for them to enjoy. Now, these things that you've seen me adding is the donation box. They will allow people that enjoy the views to to donate money to the zoo, so you can do more conservation and such. And speaking of which, you have your money over here, of which I have almost 500,000 off, and I have the conservation credits, which means that you gain them by releasing animals into the wild, selling animals in the marketplace, sending your avatar to visit other zoos. I haven't even tried that yet, and right now it probably wouldn't work very well because there's not a lot of people playing because it's not out yet. Logging in daily and completing community challenges. I was a little bit worried about the whole logging in daily and completing community challenges. I thought it would be a kind of secret microtransaction type thing where you wouldn't necessarily have to spend money on it. You know, it's not a microtransaction, but you would have to log in daily to get your crystal things, you know, get them now. But actually, it's fairly easy to get this conservation credits. You won't have unlimited amount of them, but you also won't be buying animals with these credits all the time. So for example, here's one. The bonobos do cost conservation credits, probably because they're very endangered. Yeah, they're endangered. So, you know, you'll have to manage that, but it's also possible to get more of them. So if we were to release this guy into the wild, there we go. So he's pretty good. Lifespan remaining a lot off because he's an adult of 17 years. Fertility remaining a lot off. Conservation status very good. And fertility gene, he's not very fertile. Or she's not. But we would get 187 to release her. So there we go. We've released her and got 187 conservation credits. And now I think I got rid of the only female in this enclosure. No. There's still one. Good. But yeah, that's how you get them. So anyway, facilities. You not only have to take care of your animals, you also have to take care of your staff. So there's a lot of facilities you have. Like the keeper huts where they make food for the animals. Then you've got the quarantine, which I've already shown you before. You've got the vet surgery, which heals animals when they're infected with something. You've got the research centers, which do the vet research. You've got the staff rooms, which allow your staff to relax. You've got the trade center, which allows you to buy and sell animals. And you've got the workshop, which allows your mechanics to research as well. So you've got two different researches. You've got the vet research, which allows you to research animals and all the diseases. And you've got the mechanic research, which allows you to get new world themes, barriers, food shops, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. How do I have so few people in this zoo? I have lots of caretakers, a fair few keepers, but only a few mechanics and one vet. That's interesting. I have a lot more keepers in my zoo that I've built, and I'm having problems keeping up with the poop and everything. It's quite interesting. Maybe it's the layout or something. You also get to build staff-only paths, by the way, which is very handy because it'll prevent guests from going to these staff areas where you want the buildings, because people don't like seeing staff buildings, and their happiness will go down. This is a giant enclosure with nothing in it. Oh, no, never mind. It's got 7 bonobos. What am I talking about? They got a giant enclosure. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Barriers, habitats, nature, facilities, construction. You have to catch animals that run away. You have to provide food and drink, of course, because people will get very thirsty and hungry, just like in Planet Coaster. Toilets, you have to provide staff facilities, like I said. Larger routes or paths, because as you can see, there's a pretty big problem here with so many people trying to get past. So we might build another bridge here. In fact, let's do that now. If we're talking about it, let's enlarge the width. And just build it here. Oh. Oh, this is going down. That's... okay. That's fine. And I could do it here. There. Doesn't look pretty, but it'll make it a lot easier for people to walk by. So yeah, creating the paths can be both very easy and a little finicky, just like in Planet Coaster. But you get used to it after a while. So look at them sleeping. Or what are you doing? Nothing. So yeah, I think this game is a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun building my own zoo. which I will not be showing because it's certainly not as pretty as this one. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff you can do. Like I said, there's a few issues with the UI, even though it's very polished, but it does sometimes create a bit of a faff when you're trying to do something. Especially when you're adding new animals and you have to keep going, oh wait, do they have, you know, okay, so grade 3 climb proof, and then you're going back here to the animal trading market, and oh no, once again, oh, wait a second, they've changed that, did they? Let's see. Sort of. They haven't really. Wait, if I do them by age, and then go back. No, they have. Wow. Okay, that wasn't possible before. The today's patch has actually changed that. So yeah, they are actively switching things over. So this is now a lot more usable because otherwise it would always reset to the alphabetical order, I believe. And I would have to go, no, I want it by species like this, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? And so on. You can also favorite them, by the way. So you always have access to the favorites list. But of course, you know, these are very fleeting moments because this one will only be up for 2 minutes more. But yeah, I mean, this is so much fun. I really didn't think I would have a lot of fun. I mean, that much fun with Planet Zoo because I'm more of a dinosaur guy or theme park guy. And, you know, honestly, I thought this was a little bit more mundane, which it is, but I think they really did a good job making it a lot more complex. That's one last thing I would like to talk about. I know this is already almost 50 minutes long. But in Jurassic Park, you only had a few things to worry about. Food, water, and whether they would fight with each other. But over here, you've got so much more, like I said, nutrition. You've got nourishment. What the quality was. You can actually change their food quality here. Let's see. Where is that? Animals. Grade 1 food quality. You can go to grade 2 food quality, which of course increases the amount of money you have to spend on the food. But it'll make them happier. You've got hydration, whether they're drinking or not. How clean it was. Social, whether the social group is good. You know, you have to go to the Zoopedia over here to check the social group. Over here. Up to 10 males, up to 10 females. Then you've got space, how much space they have, whether they're stressed or not. If they get too stressed, you better, you know, close some of these windows or make them one way only. You've got the habitats, which we've already covered, the temperature, cleanliness, and so on. The enrichment, so the toys and such. There's a lot of stuff you have to worry about and think of, and I think it's pretty cool. They really expanded upon the whole idea of that they started in Jurassic Park, and I think it's pretty brilliant. And it started really pouring now. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way of selling umbrellas, because we would make a killing in this area here. Anyway, like I said, I am actually very surprised, especially considering that I didn't have very good first impressions, even though it is a very beautiful game, but I was almost verging on not having fun for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on it why, but I think it was just because you're being thrown into these pre-made zoos, you look at how beautiful they are, and because you're not acquainted with the mechanics and such, you get frustrated, and also because they didn't... when I played, the UIs weren't completely polished. Some of them were slightly annoying to use, and I think that was a big part of what was wrong. This guy's all wet as well, look. But yeah, now that I'm building my own zoos and such, it is a lot of fun, and I am very much surprised that I'm having so much fun despite the fact that it's not dinosaurs or theme parks. There are some rides, by the way, available. Transport rides, like this transport monorail. I haven't built any yet, but I'm pretty sure from the looks of it that it works exactly like it does in Planet Coaster. So you build your station, and yeah, and you add more station. Yeah, that's exactly like Planet Coaster. Oops. So there, more of a station, and then you just build a track, and you can all do that, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. And of course, you get the help stuff as well. So... big thumbs up from me for Planet Zoo. If you like the idea of running your own zoo, and if you, well, like animals and like this management type stuff, This is a very polished, very fun game, and it gets my MetalCanyon seal of approval. They have... Where did they get them? Where did they get the blue umbrellas? So there is a facility that sells umbrellas. I just haven't researched it yet. Guest facilities. Merchandise. Looney Balloons, just a memento. Hat's Fantastic. I guess Hat's Fantastic sells it. Does it? I'll just place it somewhere. Just... Let's see. Hat. Spider Hat. No, it isn't. I don't know which one sells it then. I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry about waffling so much for 50 minutes now. But I hope you've enjoyed this little preview. I mean, review. There's, like I said, there's so much in this game I haven't even touched upon yet. But I think I touched upon the major stuff. There's also construction, by the way, which is where you really can start playing around with the game and adding all the little details like the lampposts and such. I just put it on the rail there, which is not very good. But like I said, even though I feel like I'm a very sort of creative, maybe slightly artistic person, I sometimes don't have the patience to do this stuff when I just want to add more animals and such. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another review or preview or let's play or whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.